This is Cinema Activist, the official podcast of Lion's Den Productions, for filmmakers and cinephiles who crave context. So 2013, you decided to self-distribute, or did you go the traditional, Hollywood fantasy route of paying to submit it to a bunch of film festivals because, you were going to get in Sundance, and then there was going to be a bidding war and you were going to become rich and make as many documentaries for millions of dollars as you want. I mean, like,
we were on that route.
Yeah.
We sent the film to Sundance. It was an early cut. It wasn't a finished cut, but it was early. It was enough of a cut for the Sundance to say, wow, this is like a never before told story, that could change the world when it comes to people on this issue.
This would be right up Sundance's alley. I mean,
yeah. And I was like, how could this not work for them? Or, plus, so I was naive, and of course it doesn't, because we're not really in that genre. Like, we're not cutting and making films for somebody like Sundance. We're making films in a different realm. So that got rejected, and I was like, that's fucking weird. And then we ended up.
Did you get the form rejection, or?
It was just the typical template, rejection.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. We had so many submissions this year. We just couldn't pick everything.
It's such a crap. Like, let's come up with something better, man. How can everybody say the same damn thing? So we then submitted to like 2 or 3 other festivals and got in.
Great.
To the first 2 right away. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So sweet. We'll stay on this track. And then the second one was a local one in Pennsylvania. Melissa, what was the name of that festival? You remember the one where we got censored out?
The Boonies?
The Boonies. Yeah. So the Boonies International Film Festival in Warren.
Short-lived festival.
Yeah, it had a lot of good energy and a lot of good opportunity there.
Full disclosure, I was for about a period of maybe 6 months, and I don't know if it was your year or not. I think they did 2 years of the festival. I was the vice president of the festival. I had no decision or I had no voice in making decisions or whatever. But anyway.
Well, when they censored the film and when they basically accepted it and then said, we can't show this because it's going to impact our relationship with business sponsors, right?
Because they have so this is in Warren, Pennsylvania, and they have a huge refinery.
Yeah.
Right on the water there.
Big oil refinery. Takes tar sand oil.
Which is probably their sponsor, I would imagine, one of their sponsors. So they say, we like your film, but we can't show your film.
We selected your film. We've deselected your film like a couple days beforehand, before the festival starts, and we're letting you know now.
Wow.
And I thought, oh shit, we can't keep doing this. We can't be in a position where we're putting our time and investments into festivals and they have the opportunity to reject it because of business sponsors, because business sponsors all over this country are in conflict of interest for Triple Divide.
Yeah, that's what art is for, right?
We won't get in anywhere.
Hold on. I'm just remembering right now. Yeah. I think that may have been the festival, maybe where I met you guys originally, because Josh Fox was there.
Yeah,
because he was on their advisory board. And weren't you guys there with cameras, like filming him speaking or something like that? I'm trying to remember I think this is where we maybe met. I could be wrong.
I don't remember.
I might have just gotten a business card from one of you or something and then followed up from there, but okay. Anyways, that's the Boonies, Warren, Pennsylvania. So did you all withdraw the film? Did you edit the film? What did you do?
No, they wouldn't show it. And we published an article and we said, the Boonies, censored the film, and this is bullshit, and we're just letting the public know. And then Melissa and I, we talked about it, and we were like, we don't have enough money to spend $1,000 on festival circuits.
Mm-hmm.
So we can we can then switch courses and try and do this community kind of education, screening, fundraising route and see how that goes. So what happened was we premiered the film in March 9th, 2013. Mark Ruffalo had signed on as a narrator a month before that. It gave it an extra bit of hype.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
But how did Mark Ruffalo, were you sending it to people that you were hoping would?
No.
How did it come across Mark Ruffalo?
I'll let Melissa tell the story about who hooked us up on that. But basically, I got a phone call and a voicemail because I didn't know who it was. And it says, "Hi, this is Mark Ruffalo. I just watched Triple Divide. It's an awesome film. I want to help and contribute anywhere I can. Let me know." And I'm like, "Hey, Melissa, Mark Ruffalo just called us." And it was a really, awesome moment. And
that's
then
huge.
That we found out how it happened, and she can tell you how that happened.
How did it happen, Melissa?
Well, one of our early supporters, John Trallow, who was a community rights and rights of nature activist in Pennsylvania, was writing a blog back then about what was happening with the fracking development coming into his region of the state. And Mark happened to read it and reached out to him and said, "If you ever need anything, let me know. Keep it up. You're doing good work."
Wow.
And John later cashed that favor in by sending Mark the early cut of Triple Divide because John was one of our initial backers of the film.
Wow.
And asking Mark if he wanted to get involved.
That's awesome. Yeah. Big shout out to John. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Mark is involved. You ask him to record some narration, and he accepts. Mm-hmm. All right, which I assume helps with the self-distribution at that point. That gives you like some more fuel, right? Like some PR fuel.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it definitely helped. I mean, Mark is the reason. Runo, I'm sorry. It's thundering, and Runo is terrified of thunder. So he's
Runo.
Hey, Runo, why don't you just go in the closet? Anyway.
Well, it became clear like what the opportunities were with self-distributing when we premiered the film in one of the lowest populated counties in the state, which is Potter County, at the theater downtown in Cottersport, which happens to be owned by the former owner of Adelphia, who was imprisoned. And the manager of the theater had to call him in prison and say, "Can these two people premiere the film?" And he was like, "You tell so-and-so, Melissa can have whatever she wants." And basically lets the film be shown in the theater. And we get there on the day of, and it's standing room only in the middle of nowhere. Wow. So we've got, a 300-seat theater packed out with people in the back standing.
That's thrilling.
Yeah, it was amazing. And it literally doesn't have a digital projector. So we have a $600 projector on a ladder in the middle of the room.
Wow.
With a black cloth over it, running to speakers that we hooked up at the front. And that's how the film's being shown.
This is DIY, man.
Oh,
you have 300. These are the people you want to see the film, though. This is right. Yeah. Like any means necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. So that kind of set up us carrying a projector around with speakers became the standard for like the next 3-4 years.
Wow.
Of self-distribution. Your festival, or not your festival, but your screening at the Erie Art Museum
in July of 2013.
Yeah. Like that was such a successful show with people really supporting us and buying DVDs and, showing up and having like a sold out setting.
Mm-hmm.
That showed us what the potential was for self-distribution. And that was actually how I convinced Melissa that, we can just do this full time with respect to distributing the film, because people want to see it, and they want to see it this way, and it's going to require us, going out there and doing that.
You were seeing like this grassroots energy, like in real time, because so through the Film Society of Northwestern Pennsylvania, where I program, we did a screening at our program called Film at the Erie Art Museum, which was great. And then we also had you back to another series I did at the time called Edinburgh Film Series at Edinburgh University in November of 2013. And we had like hundreds of people at that one, like 500 people or something.
Yeah, you had a huge crowd. For a university, it's the biggest show we've ever done. It was amazing.
I mean, the film, so which came first, Gasland or Triple Divide? Help me.
Gasland came first.
Okay.
Then ours released about 2 years later, I think.
Okay. Gasland was kind of like everyone's, like, and probably you all as well, I would imagine, but you guys were already in it, so maybe you knew about everything in Gasland probably. But Gasland, for people like me, was kind of like the introduction. And then for me, Triple Divide was like the deeper, I mean, nothing against Josh Fox, because Gasland is how the world knew about fracking. But Triple Divide for me was like the real raw information, like no bullshit. This is what's going on, and you need to pay attention to this. This was like the real urgency for me came through Triple Divide, and I would imagine that's what you were seeing in these early screenings that were kind of telling you all, like, okay, we could do this ourselves because people want to know this information. This is important. What were some like success stories, failures, challenges of doing self-distribution back then, and how long did you do this tour for? And wasn't Tesla or something involved at some point, like, or a Tesla? Cinema Activist is produced by Lions Den Productions, hosted by John C. Lyons, music by Tony Gray. Support the efforts of Lions Den Productions by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Lions Den Productions. Thank you for listening. We'll be back soon.